If you're listening to this right now, slow down for a second. Yeah, just for a heartbeat. This story isn't big or loud. It won't chase you. It's about the kind of moment you don't notice until you realized it changed you. So take a breath, let your shoulders fall, and come with me someplace quiet, someplace honest. Welcome to Trail of Quiet Things. Claire Morgan hadn't planned on driving through Utah that night. She was supposed to take the interstate, the straight, predictable route home. But halfway through Nevada, she felt something tighten in her chest, a familiar pressure, the kind that makes the world look too sharp around the edges. She switched off onto a smaller road without thinking, not running, not chasing anything, just turning. The road wound through open desert, long and flat, and strangely hopeful. The sky looked like someone had smudged purples and oranges with their thumb. In the distance, the mesas rose like old bones. Claire cracked her window. Dry air brushed her cheek, warm, dusty, almost comforting. She wasn't sure how long she'd been driving when she finally pulled into a place that barely counted as a town, Redwater Junction, population small enough to fit inside a diner booth. The gas station lights hummed. The pump handle was stiff. Somewhere behind the building a dog barked with the kind of bark that said, "You're not from around here." Inside the convenience store, an older woman stood behind the counter, reading a paperback Western. She didn't look up. Claire grabbed a bottle of water, then paused. There was a corkboard next to the register. Old flyers, missing pets, a rodeo schedule, a map of nearby trails. One trail had been circled in red marker. The woman finally glanced up. "You like hiking?" she asked, voice steady as gravel. "I used to. Been a while." "Then you'll want that one." The woman pointed her pen at the red circle. "South Ridge Overlook. Folks don't go much anymore. Too quiet for them." "Too quiet?" Claire echoed.
You'd be surprised how scared people are of their own thoughts. The woman didn't smile, but something gentle softened her eyes. Claire bought the water, stepped back into the desert evening, and looked toward the dark outline of the ridge. She hadn't planned on hiking. She hadn't planned on anything, really. But grief had been sitting on her chest for weeks, months, heavier than any pack she'd ever carried. And tonight, the weight felt like it might swallow her whole if she didn't breathe different air. She drove to the trailhead. No lights, just moon glow on the dirt sign and a metal gate that squeaked when she touched it. The trail cut upward through sagebrush and loose stones. Claire's boots weren't meant for it. Her ankles wobbled. She swore under her breath. And yet, she kept going. The higher she climbed, the quieter the world became. Not empty, not dead, just honest. Halfway up the ridge, she stopped to catch her breath. Her phone buzzed weakly, one bar of service, struggling. A message from her sister lit the screen. "Did you get home okay? Haven't heard from you. Call me. Please." Claire closed the notification. She loved her sister, but she wasn't ready to talk about the hospital. About the way her father's hand went still in hers. About the silence that came afterward. She climbed. When she finally reached the overlook, she wasn't prepared for how wide everything looked. The canyon spread out like an ocean of rock. The moon painted the cliffs in silver and soft blue. And for the first time in months, maybe years, Claire felt something shift inside her. Not healing. Not yet.
Just space.
like her thoughts finally had room to uncurl. She sank onto the edge of a flat boulder and let her legs dangle. Her breath came slow now, steady. "Dad would have loved this," she whispered. The wind tugged at her hair, gentle as a hand on her shoulder. A few minutes passed, or maybe longer. Time moved differently up here. Then she heard footsteps behind her. She stiffened. A man approached, maybe in his 50s, wearing a ranger jacket unzipped over a faded t-shirt. He lifted his hand slightly, a peaceful gesture. "Didn't mean to sneak up. Didn't expect anyone out here tonight." "It's okay," Claire said, though her pulse still thudded. He nodded toward the canyon. "Hard to stay away from a view like that, huh?" "Yeah," she murmured. "I needed something." He studied her face for a beat longer than a stranger normally would. Not intrusive, just seeing her in a way most people didn't bother to. "You from around here?" "No, just passing through." He took a slow breath, as if choosing his words with care. "This ridge helped me once, after my wife passed. I came up here every night for a month. Thought I'd lose my mind if I didn't get away from the noise." Claire's throat tightened. He said it so plainly, like grief was a river that carved everyone sooner or later. "Does it get easier?" she asked. She hated how fragile her voice sounded. He sat a respectful distance away, elbows on his knees.
"No," he said. "But you get stronger. And eventually, the hurt stops being the only thing in the room." The words hit her like warm water. Simple. True. She swallowed hard. "My dad died 2 weeks ago." The ranger nodded. Slow, steady. "I'm sorry," he said. "That kind of loss, it sits in your bones." Claire looked down at her hands, picking at her sleeve. "I don't know how to keep going." "You don't do it all at once," he said. "You just get through the next moment, and then the next one after that." He pointed at the view. This is a good place to start." They sat there until the moon climbed high and the world turned silver. After a long silence, the ranger stood. "Take your time," he said. "Trail safe if you stick to the markers. And if you need help, real help, the station's 2 miles down the road." He paused. "You're not broken, just tired." When he left, Claire stayed on the ridge a little longer. The quiet wrapped around her. Not heavy this time, but warm. She finally stood, brushed the dust from her jeans, and looked at the sky. "I miss you," she said softly. "But I'm still here." The wind carried the words away, not stealing them, just taking them someplace she couldn't reach. She walked down the trail slowly, feeling her steps land with more certainty than when she'd begun. Not healed, not fixed, but moving. And sometimes that was enough. When she reached her car, she took one last look at the ridge. The moon lit the path behind her like a soft trail of encouragement. Claire opened her phone. For the first time in a long while, she typed a reply. "I'm okay. Driving home now. Tell you everything tomorrow." She didn't send it right away. Not until she felt the shift, the small one, the real one, in her chest. Then she pressed send. She started the engine, rolled down the window, and let the desert night wash over her. A quiet beginning, but a beginning. If you stayed with the story until now, thank you. Really. Some roads feel lonely, but they're not empty. They're waiting. If tonight felt heavy or strange or too quiet, take it as a sign that something in you is still trying. And that matters. If you want more stories like this, slow, human, hopeful, you know what to do. Subscribe. Stay close. There's more ahead than you think.